Welcome to the Don't Wait to Lose worst case scenario presentation. This presentation is for that worst case scenario. When you come home and your cupboard's completely bare, maybe you have an accident in the kitchen, or maybe you just don't have any time to cook, and you have no other option besides going out. Many of the information presented in this presentation is also available from drgourmet.com. He has a wonderful section on his website with nutrition information from various fast food restaurants and chain restaurants that you can access. So here's the thing about fast food. I'm going to talk about what your options are when you eat at fast food, but here's the bad things about fast food and the general reasons to avoid it as much as possible. So first of all, it's highly processed and low in fiber, so it's not really going to fill you up as well as some other foods that are higher in fiber, and it's also going to spike your blood sugar due to the low fiber content. It's also high in fat, and you really can't avoid that. High in salt and high in sugar as well. In addition, you don't have a lot of fruit and vegetable options, and you know as part of our diet plan, it's as many fruits and vegetables as possible, and you really can't get that at fast food. There's also some safety concerns. You may have heard about an E. coli outbreak that happened various times in the past. So there's a lot of things about fast food that make you want to avoid it, but sometimes you just don't have that choice. Another thing is beware of the ad campaigns that they will put out. Various times fast food restaurants will claim that their food's healthy, when in actuality it isn't. An example of which is something that I read in the newspaper with a McDonald's spokesperson talking about how their French fries were high in fiber. Well, that's not really true, and it's very misleading. So here's our goal at the fast food restaurant. This is the key to the presentation and something that I really want you to remember. So we want meals that are less than 400 calories and less than 15 grams of fat. And that's what I want you to go into the fast food restaurant thinking about, trying to get under those numbers. So what you have to make sure you do is add calories for those extras, that sauce, that soda that you have, any of the extra side dishes that you have, make sure you're adding that into the total because your goal is to get under those numbers. And those extras, sometimes the creamy dressings will put you over the limit. Oftentimes a creamy dressing is half of your calorie amount right there. So here are going to be your keys to successfully maintaining that goal of 400 calories and 15 grams of fat. One is going to be doing your research ahead of time. And we've provided some of the information in a handout that was passed out on the last session of Don't Wait to Lose. That handout's also going to be available on don'twaittolose.com. There's also the Dr. Gourmet website, as I talked about earlier. There's some great information, there's some great nutrition information on that website. The other thing that you're going to need to be able to do is resist temptation. There's going to be some serious smells going on when you walk into that fast food restaurant. And you're going to have the mindset where you're going to say, all right, I don't need those fries, don't need those French fries, I don't care if it smells good, and you're going to order just what you came prepared to order. So if you do your research ahead of time, you know what you can order before you even get in the restaurant. You can go in there, make your order, and not even have to think about it. So like I said, here's some great sources of information, and you can just Google any sort of restaurant, any sort of chain restaurant, just put, say, Chili's nutrition information, and it'll pull it up to a page that lists everything on Chili's menu with all the nutrition information. That way, when you go in there, you know that your low-calorie, low-fat options. So I'm going to give some examples of various restaurants just to give you an idea of what you might be able to eat. So here's McDonald's, and of course McDonald's is not healthy. They have very few healthy options, but let me tell you what you can eat to stay under the limits that we gave, the 400 calorie, 15 grams of fat. So one hamburger is about 260 calories, 9 grams of fat. A cheeseburger, just that added cheese, pushes it up to 310 calories and 12 grams of fat. So as you can see, just with that, you're already getting close to your 400 calorie limit. McDonald's also has some salads, and you might be more apt to think those are healthier, but actually, if you add some of the creamy dressings, like the ranch dressing that they have, the creamy Caesar dressing, that will put you over the limit. Any of the McDonald's dressings that have the word creamy in them or are white, those are more likely to have more fat in them, and those will push you over the limit. So stick with their vinaigrette dressing. They have the Paul Newman's own low-fat balsamic vinaigrette. If you put that on their bacon ranch salad with chicken, then you're going to stay over the limit. That's only 280 calories, 11 grams of fat. And you might even be able to get some apple dippers with that, and that's still not going to push you over. Just an idea of what you can get for breakfast. A bagel, there's 260 calories, 1 gram of fat, and if you get the cream cheese, it's 350 calories. 9 grams of fat. So another instance when you're going to need to stay away from orange juice, stay away from sausage or bacon, that kind of stuff is going to put you over the limit. So Popeyes also has some decent options for you. And I'm going to talk about a few keys here. They have a crawfish etouffee with Cajun rice. That has too much fat in it, but it's calorie-wise, it's okay. So that might be a good option for you. You can also get some hot vegetables at Popeyes, and it's one of the few fast food restaurants that actually has vegetables. So the main thing on the menu, of course, at Popeyes is chicken. The chicken, one of the ways in which you can lower the calorie and fat amount is by removing the breading. So just for example, a chicken leg is 100 calories, 5 grams of fat. If you take out the breading, now it's 50 calories, 2 grams of fat. So you're able to actually take in more if you take off that breading, because that's where all the grease stays, that's where the fat from the chicken is, so that's where all the calories is on the outside. Corn on the cob, 190 calories is 2 grams of fat, so that's still a lot. Beware of biscuits. Biscuits are actually 240 calories, 13 grams of fat, and that's really not going to fill you up, so that's something you want to stay away from. Subway is actually a pretty good option. The 3 things you want to try to do is make sure you stick with the basic sandwiches, your turkey, your ham, roast beef, chicken breast. Those are the ones that are going to be more likely to be under that 400 calorie, 15 grams of fat. And also make sure you stick with the 6-inch. If you can go in there, you say, okay, I'm going to get a $5 footlong, just eat half. Then you sit down, you've eaten your half, you're like, oh, that other half's looking pretty good. By the end of it, you've already eaten your footlong, and now you're over your limit. So make sure you know that you're only going to have that 6-inch. Mayo and certain sauces are going to put you over the limit. So what you want to try to do is get light mayo. That's only 50 calories, 5 grams of fat, whereas the regular mayo is 110 calories and 12 grams of fat. Remember, cheese adds 50 calories, 5 grams of fat, and load up with the vegetables. The vegetables don't add calories, don't add fat, so put as much vegetable on that sandwich as you want. And don't get soda, don't get chips, don't get cookies. Don't get an entire footlong. You don't need that. And here's just some examples. For example, a turkey breast sandwich is 310 calories, 5 grams of fat. That's under the limit. Smoothie King. So beware of Smoothie King. They do have some healthy options, but you can go wrong here. So just about every smoothie that's over 20 ounces, that's over 400 calories. So the 20 ounces is the smallest one. So if you go over that, any other smoothie is going to be more than 400 calories. Many 40-ounce smoothies are almost 1,000 calories, and that's almost half of the calories, that's over half the calories you're going to be taking in a whole day. So the 40-ounce smoothie is way too much. The best options are those classified under trim down and stay healthy on their menu. And see if you can get them to not put turbinado in that. That's just a fancy name for sugar. And the Smoothie King website has a great interactive list of nutrition information. I encourage you to check it out if you like Smoothie King. So let's talk about other restaurants besides fast food. Many of the best restaurants in the world, not the most health conscious. Some of your best options for types of cuisine are sushi, Middle Eastern cuisine, po' boy shops, which in many of them you can get a turkey po' boy, turkey breast po' boy, and some of them might have wheat rolls. Delis and cafes might also have some good options. Just some general things to keep in mind when you're eating out to make your meal more healthy is if you ask, you will receive exactly what you want. Ask for a minimalist preparation. See if you can get the sauce on the side. See if you can hold the bacon. See if you can hold the cheese. Restaurants want your money, so the more likely they are to fulfill your request, the more likely you are to keep going there. Skip dessert. Eat half of the food on your plate. They're going to serve you these huge portions. Eat half, save the rest for later. And have water, iced tea instead of soda and juice. So that's all I got. Your homework is to read that handout that's on the website. Try to ask for healthy preparations when you're eating out the next time. And check out the nutrition information online. Do your research so when you do go out in that worst case scenario, you're prepared and you know what to order.